Hello and welcome to another episode of NerdFellas. We're doing the X-Men Apocalypse movie review, discussion, kind of just talking overall about the movie itself. Me and you watched it last night. When did you watch it?
Wednesday.
And what are your overall thoughts about the movie?
In a nutshell, I'd say it was good. For me, not much more than that.
I understand what you mean. I liked it a lot, actually.
That's surprising me.
I couldn't really compare it to Days of Future Past or even First Class. I think those two movies are still better. But I really did like a lot what they did with this movie. And this is a spoiler-full review, so fair warning here that we're gonna get into some spoilers.
So yeah, there'll be a lot of spoilers. We'll try and
we'll let you know.
Yeah,
we'll let you know when we start getting into spoilers.
So what did you think? Because you know what? Okay, good. I'm curious.
Okay, so you know what? As soon as it ended, I was like, awesome. And this is why I think it's awesome. There were a lot of points that popped up from the comics, pulled from comics, that I was like, that is awesome. So there were points, I know you and my wife also went with us, that you saw me move forward in my seat.
Oh, right.
And then I get back and I'm like, whatever. I had a lot of issues with Apocalypse's look.
Yeah, the issues.
Yeah, I had issues. I had a lot of issues.
You know what? I also did not love the way he looked.
Yeah.
There were times where seriously, he really did look like Ivan Ooze.
Like a blue Ivan Ooze, right? And you know, kind of. Because I feel like the makeup jumped back and forth, and I think there was some production issues with that.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've heard that too.
So, like, I think they went back and did reshoots with him that had makeup that the fans wanted, versus there was instances where they already shot it, and it was like, well, he looks like Ivan Ooze.
Yeah.
So there were times where his face was smooth and somewhere it was wrinkly. So it's kind of like, well, they're trying to figure out what the look is, so that kind of took away from it.
But since the reshoots, it bounces back and forth.
Yeah, I think if they would have kept him maybe gray, kind of like how he is in the actual comic book, it would have looked cool.
With like the blue
with blue, yeah, exactly, like gray, but with like blue around it.
Even almost a more robotic or square jaw, you know?
I think
that's
what
all
I was missing, because
all it needed.
It just, so the very beginning, I actually loved the opening scene.
Oh, it's so good.
It was,
that was my favorite
so
part.
good. Like, it
my
really...
beef with opening.
Okay, alright, go.
Cheap effects.
I did notice, like,
I noticed cheap effects throughout the whole movie, though.
Yeah,
Me too.
Yeah.
Like the tree and all that.
For some reason, I always found that Fox always has those problems. Like, even with all the X-Men movies, there's like some cheap effects in there that always kind of take me out of it a little bit. But overall, I thought, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
The one, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I noticed it right away. It was actually toward the very, very end.
Okay.
Quicksilver says that, yeah, I'm going to stay here. And then he puts on those glasses.
Yeah.
And then as it's like the camera's tracking, you can kind of see like the because they had put like this reflective thing over it. And you could see where it was kind of being tracked within the glasses. It didn't look very good.
And that's just like production level stuff. Me and Martin like to film a lot of movies, so we can notice those little things. But as far as like the movie itself, overall, I guess we liked it.
I liked it. Yeah. I mean, yesterday. After last night, it sounded like you loved it.
I'm not gonna lie, just seeing
that's why I was like, let's wait to do a review, because I felt like you're gonna.
But
give
I will
it
say, like from the new movies that have come out, like First Class, Days of Future Past, this one. I'm gonna say, for me, Days of Future Past, best.
Right.
Then I'm gonna say Apocalypse. Okay. And then I'm gonna say First Class.
I would argue First Class is like number 2. In fact, it's like right underneath Days of Future Past for me, because I loved. There was something about them going back to the 60s and restarting over. And okay, so this is where I kind of wonder what Fox is doing, because their continuity in the X-Men films alone is all over the place.
Yeah. Like, well, now they're going in order.
Well, yes, now they are.
So,
okay, but this
Days of Future Past is where they kind of.
Well, no, okay. So even starting from the very first X-Men movie, you see Sabretooth, and he sees Wolverine. There's no connection there. It's just okay. But then Wolverine Origins comes out, and Sabretooth is a different guy, but now they're brothers. And then
No. This works out. You know why? The way it starts is okay. So I'm gonna start getting into spoilers, guys. We can already say we can tell you it's a good movie.
Yeah.
And you should definitely check it out, especially if you're an X-Men fan. This is where you start seeing the real team come together. And go see it. But now we're gonna do spoilers.
Yeah.
So, as far as like Wolverine, he's always been some kind of continuity anchor. Is what I've always felt. So with Wolverine, in the very first X-Men, he's still trying to find out who he is, where he's from.
Right.
So he doesn't know Sabretooth. He doesn't remember Sabretooth.
yeah, but
By
why
then
wouldn't
they're supposed to be-
Sabretooth wouldn't remember him?
By then they're supposed to be older, and maybe they're still going to explore that.
I doubt it, because it was a different actor. Taylor Mane didn't even look like Sabretooth in the other movie.
But with X-Men Origins, it took place way before the first X-Men film.
Well, to be fair, I pretend that movie doesn't exist.
Yeah, true. That movie's just
It's not.
terrible.
And then just exploring like where Wolverine is, just the small bit that they introduced into this film was so awesome.
Yeah.
Seeing an
Okay.
original costumed Weapon X,
Yeah.
that was
I
awesome.
loved Wolverine in this movie, but
But there's always a
but did you not laugh when he just ran out into the wild? It looked really funny to me.
Like-
I just looked.
free.
No, but it just like, and then he just runs out, and it's just so awkward. I'm just like, that's so.
Well, it's because
weird.
we know a more sophisticated Wolverine, and
So seeing
sometimes
this
Hugh
was
Jackman has an issue playing Wolverine, man. I don't know, but like it was cool. And this is actually, even though this movie is PG-13, this is the first rated R Wolverine you see, because this guy goes
to it, yeah.
He releases, I think you call it's berserker rage. Like he goes crazy and he kills all these people. He's blindly killing. So it was pretty sweet seeing him.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I love that.
I think he's always been an anchor throughout the movies, even
Yeah.
his brief appearances. It's pretty cool.
So in this movie, what were some of the things you loved? Like, what were some of the positives about?
Positives for me,
This
the
movie.
opening sequence.
Yeah, opening
I thought
sequence
that
was
was
awesome.
so
I
cool.
loved it.
Let's see what else. At the end, finally seeing like a team of X-Men
Right.
lined up. That was cool.
I really loved the that whole Berserker Rage Wolverine part. I loved the introduction of Cyclops. I really liked that, and I liked having Havoc back in the movie. I loved how Professor X goes bald,
Yeah,
and so I was like, oh, okay, that's how they did it.
there's a good explanation.
I really liked a lot of those things, but there's never like a specific. You know what? The part where Magneto becomes Magneto again, and that was probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
Everything having to do with Magneto was probably the stuff I liked the most.
Yeah.
Up until the very end when he actually goes sides again.
yeah.
When I was like corny, like the X. I was like,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
I was like, there's some corny
In
moments
fact,
in it.
You know, they made me want to cheer because it's comic booky. Yeah, you know, it's like X-Men,
No, it is, but I was just like,
the rebirth.
it did, but it kind of took me out of it. Like, if you just done like a wall of stuff, I would have been more engulfed in it.
Yeah.
But the scene with Magneto with his wife and his kid in the forest,
Oh, that
broke
was
me.
so sad.
That
broke
was
me.
probably the best scene in the movie, I think.
Anything
yeah.
that when you start seeing Magneto, oh man. Okay, so these are the things I loved.
Yeah.
I loved the flashbacks to the old films. Seeing bits and pieces from the very first X-Men movie, and just seeing pieces of like Magneto's past, that very emotional scene, you finally get a whole feel of, yeah, he has reason to hate humans, right?
Yeah.
And, okay, I'll stick on things I love. So, scenes with Magneto, great. I loved how they walked Jubilee, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Nightcrawler. They walk out of the movie after seeing Return of the Jedi,
That was
and then they say, the third one's always the worst.
And that's where I was on this one. Like, I liked the movie, but for me it was First Class, Days of Future Past.
So it's almost
And the third one was the
They're
horror.
making fun of themselves a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, that's that was cool.
But also X-Men 3, the last
Yeah,
stand.
they're
That's
making
what
fun-
that's what it was.
That's what I got out of it.
So that's what they were. That's what I like. They were making fun of The Last Stand. Maybe a little bit making fun of themselves, but honestly, it comes back to a whole critic and fan review. If you're a hardcore film critic, you're gonna probably tear it apart. If you're a fan, you're gonna pretty much walk out of the movie satisfied. So I like
We
that.
kind of
too.
ride a fine line between both.
Yeah. So,
But some of the critics that I watch are also fans.
Yeah.
You know, so
well, yeah. I mean, you can tear this thing apart as far as continuity.
Oh
yeah.
So I guess I will agree. Take out origins.
They threw continuity out the window in like the very first X-Men.
Even even from this one to like Days of Future Past, there's even stuff that like doesn't make sense. Like if you think about it, Havoc should be like 20 years older looking.
Yeah.
than
Right.
it really is.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is Mystique is supposed to be in her 40s now, I think.
And wasn't she like proud of being a mutant at the end of
Right.
Days of Future Past?
Yeah.
Now she's like hiding again.
Yeah. Well, I have a theory about that.
Okay.
So let's talk about some of the things that we didn't exactly love about this movie. One thing for me was the whole Jennifer Lawrence thing. She's now a big, like from the first movie she wasn't too big yet. Now she's this big actress that gets like $20 million a role, and of course she's not gonna want to be in blue makeup. And in fact, the blue makeup looked terrible for some reason.
Yeah.
Just you know when I concentrated too much on the black spots.
It just didn't look good for some reason in this movie. It's like they half-assed it, and you could tell that she was only like in her true self for maybe like 2 minutes of the whole movie.
Yeah.
So, and also I think she just mailed it in, dude.
Yeah.
Like she
Out of all
really,
of them?
like there were some good parts that were like, okay, that's believable, but then other parts it's like, you're an X-Men, you're a team. I am getting paid $20 million.
And what's weird is that like it seems like she signed on for more with the way it ends.
I would rather not have her because I'm not even a fan so much of Mystique's
Yeah.
character. To be
And
honest,
the good thing is the way they're going to start making the movies now is 60s, 70s. This is the 80s. We're going to see the 90s, which I'm really looking forward to.
Probably gonna see Quicksilver in like a
hopefully
Nirvana
we
shirt.
get something like X-Men '92, like the animated series, something.
Jubilee have
Like,
more of a role.
okay, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Like, why promote Jubilee? Like, she wasn't promoted a lot, but
No.
it looked like she was actually gonna have a role, and she did.
I just like that they
She
introduced her.
doesn't. They've introduced her like 3 times before.
Yeah.
Like she's in the classroom and she's like wearing the yellow. She doesn't say a
Got the
word.
earrings, all that stuff.
there's another one where she's just walking by. It's
she
a
can't-
different actress. And then this one she actually has a line or two.
I think
But
too.
then she doesn't have to do anything.
She can't do anything.
But like
Fireworks.
Just don't even have her. Like that's the thing. It's like don't even have
One
her.
or the other?
Yeah, just don't have her. She's if you're
I
not gonna use her, then
But
don't have
I
her.
think she's going to be a big part of the 90s.
Yeah.
So I think they could bring her in and do something.
They're gonna
with her.
Quicksilver.
I don't know.
that one
I
thing.
don't think so. I think hopefully the new one has more Quicksilver because I think that was actually my favorite part of the whole movie.
In the mansion.
The whole mansion,
Yeah.
that whole scene was hilarious.
It was
Yeah.
like cool seeing.
I loved it.
Anytime they like when we first get Quicksilver, same exact scenario. He goes
Yeah.
and has fun. So he does the same thing, and that's what fans wanted to see again.
Yeah.
In all honesty, is as much as it was similar to the one before, we wanted to see it again.
I actually really loved that
That was
scene. So the Quicksilver was actually one of my standout performances
You know,
of the movie.
One of my favorite scenes also I didn't get to mention was Nightcrawler versus Angel
Oh, the Hell in a
in the
Cell?
cage.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
just the quick scene of them fighting, and then this is actually a way better Angel. Like it was
Yeah.
cool seeing him, even though he kind of
He kind of
it out at the
didn't do
end.
too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, some of these characters are very throwaway, including Psylocke.
I think, okay, what am I...
Like Psylocke
Psylocke
doesn't
was
do
big.
anything.
She was just good to look
She
at.
just showed them where to get Angel, and that's really it.
Yeah, she didn't.
Well, she
do
had
much.
she did have a good fight scene with Beast, but it was short-lived.
super
A lot
short.
of the stuff that was really short-lived at the end of it.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's what critics say it fell apart.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
and
got
I
jumbled a bit.
kind of agree with it
Yeah.
because for me the movie didn't really start like it really started to pick up. Like I feel like there's pacing issues.
that
throughout the whole
was
thing.
getting into what I was
Um,
going to say, what I don't like about it.
I think the very beginning was awesome, but then it just kind of drags and it doesn't really pick up for me until they pick up Magneto.
Yeah.
For me, once that happens, then I'm like, okay, cool, and then we're on board and all this stuff's going on. But for me, it kind of just dragged. I didn't.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it that I really.
There's a
like,
lot of
I don't
setup.
know. Yeah.
I mean, you have a large cast, so you kind of need to take some time, but I feel like it took too much time explaining, like, the Four Horsemen and the new X-Men at the same time.
And then Rose Byrne, she was kind of useless. She, in fact, is the reason that Apocalypse is back.
That's true.
So after thousands of years that he hasn't been around, she's the reason that he comes
she's
back.
not really the reason.
Yeah, she left the door open. She let the light come in through the tunnel.
That is true.
Yeah, so it's actually her fault that all this happened.
That's her key role, but they never blamed her.
Exactly.
There's a lot of inconsequential stuff, like Magneto. Like, even though he kind of found like the light, I guess, at the end, he still did all this stuff and walks away with a happy ending at the end. Like, there's not really consequences to actions.
That's what pissed me off about the movie, is that Magneto went through a shit ton of pain.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do it. I would want to kill everyone. I wouldn't even care. And then he's just like, goodbye, old friend.
Kind of has like a happy ending.
Yeah,
I'm like,
okay.
You always say goodbye, old friend, in every end of every fucking movie. Goodbye, old friend.
We've got it by now.
Let's play some chess. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that just, to me, didn't really work out so much.
For me, this movie, it's very, what you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
It's very straightforward. There's not really like a hidden theme. They kind of play around like the whole like false god kind of thing, but they don't really dig into it. There's no underlying like theme or moral of the story.
I would say that Magneto's role was kind of boring at the end, where he's just doing the destruction.
He kind of lost the steam.
But like, it's just kind of like, is he gonna fight? Nothing.
They threw him away at the end.
It's just, that's all he was doing. It was kind of boring to me.
And you know what I think is, like, the way the movie was working was they were using characters to build up the next scene for another character, and they let it go.
Right.
So like they started off with like, oh, here's Mystique, she's this poster girl, and oh, let's drop that in. Oh, here's Magneto,
and
he's suffering.
Yeah.
And then oh, let's drop that and let's get into Professor X, and then they dropped that, and the final arc was, oh, here's Jean, and here's an introduction to Phoenix.
Now I actually really like.
I think Jean was the only one that kind of played out subtly throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because they kind of built it up gradually.
Yeah. And I like how they kind of just fans knew this reading the comics books, but I'm okay with it. They just kind of threw in when Quicksilver is captured with everyone else, and he's like, yeah, so he's my dad, and it's like, oh, well, there you go.
I thought that was hilarious.
But that was funny. Yeah.
At the end, he never tells them, yet everyone else knows.
Yeah. That's another thing that bugged me was that
it bugged me too.
I hated the way I loved how Jean and Magneto were rebuilding everything for the school, and I'm like, cool. And there is a justification to why Magneto went with the X-Men side. I think a lot of people would have a problem with like, oh, Magneto's going back and forth, but ultimately everyone has to realize Magneto's goal is to protect mutants, and that's not what Apocalypse was doing. He just wanted to use mutants, he wanted to control mutants, so he was still a bad guy for both sides of the fence.
Right.
So it's okay that at the end he becomes this good guy. But the thing that really bugged me, just there's a lot of throwaway stuff, and when Storm comes in and she's like, hey, so they told me about your father. And it's like, wait, so is it just going around
just gossiping about it?
And the thing is, like,
why would you tell Storm?
Right, exactly. Like, she was on the bad side. She was trying to kill you this whole time.
Yeah.
Another thing with, I did like Sophie Turner or Sansa Stark, the Jean Grey.
Yeah.
But
she's beautiful,
dude. I heard that British accent coming in and out.
Yeah.
She
was fighting it hard.
She needs to really work on that, because there's times where I could have sworn it was just a British accent, and it didn't take me out of it because I've been watching Game of Thrones so much. But yeah, I think she needs to work on that a little more, the American accent.
Yeah, I did like the new Cyclops.
That's a little nitpick.
But there's like a lot of things I'm like, wait, that wouldn't work. Very beginning, when Cyclops is in the bathroom, and he's getting like bullied and everything, and he opens his eyes and door blasts out.
He would have ripped that guy apart.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. How did that door stay apart, but the whole roof is like in half?
Well, let's say this. Like, I was observing like during the movie, and I was like, okay, if he's not gonna kill the guy, the roof better be destroyed. So I'm thinking about it, and he's barely getting his powers. His eyes are hurting, so he doesn't know the full strength of it yet. His full potential comes up at the end of it. So at the very beginning, as it's growing, he hits the door, he pushes him, he cracks tile, which is easy. It's harder to do that with metal, and then the top wall, that's just foam.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, he can rip the roof.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll justify it. I try justifying
you're
every
reaching
scene.
a bit.
No, I think that's okay because then he has his eyes closed and he's generating power the whole movie. Then he goes to the school and he rips the tree in half.
Yeah.
Which is funny because like Professor X was like, I used to play when my grandfather planted that tree when he was 5, and now the tree's gone. That was my
No, that was funny. There's a lot of comedy in this, and I actually liked it.
And it's like lighthearted, isn't it?
Yeah.
That comedy was good.
I really liked a lot of that.
When Professor X, he's like, oh, do you have a husband? No. Oh, good. And she's like, what? And like he's just nervous. That's weird because you don't see Professor X like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess her only role in it was being this side chick love interest for Professor X, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like this movie, it's very.
She could have not been in the movie and it would have been the same.
Yeah, and then one of the problems I have with Double-Edged Sword is how they forced the Wolverine cameo because they made it to where he needed to be essential, but if you take out the whole Stryker,
right,
it wouldn't have changed the Apocalypse storyline.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
There is.
They just put in that little Stryker
in the movie.
Yeah.
There is a beef I have. Here's one continuity issue.
Okay.
At the end of Future Past, it's Mystique that saves Wolverine.
Yeah. Nobody knows how Stryker actually got a hold of Wolverine.
How did he get her?
Exactly. I don't know.
So yeah.
That wasn't. Yeah. Like I said,
Fox, figure it out.
That's another issue I have with Fox. Is okay. So it seemed like they had a continuity with the first 3 X-Men, and then they introduced some new characters and same characters in Wolverine. But then when they made First Class, honestly, I thought that was a complete reboot because they just wanted to get new actors. Let's get these. But then that was really, and then they had that one little cameo of Wolverine, right? And I think it was just a cameo.
Yeah.
But First Class did so well that like, hey, some executive at Fox, let's tie it all in together. So that's why they did the whole thing. So that's why continuity is like all over the place.
Well, no, and you know, that's a big issue. But like I think the continuity issues started with Days of Future Past. That's where it got kind of. Well, no, you know what? Even going back to Wolverine Origins, if you can just take Wolverine Origins out completely, I think it would be okay.
Yeah.
But then the lead-in from Future Past to this one, there's a lot of questions. And there's a lot of things that could have happened too. So one way you can explain it is there's 10-year gaps.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
So with 10-year gaps, let's say from now, this is the 80s going into the 90s, we probably don't even need to see Professor X or Magneto or Mystique because we'll have a whole new X-Men team.
And you know what's funny? In those 10-year gaps, not one person aged a bit.
No.
Like, no, seriously, Havoc looked exactly the same.
I think Quicksilver's the only one that kind of looked a little bit more like.
No,
defined.
I still
like
think he
makeup.
looks exactly the same.
I think he had like a little
Mystique
more
looks the
structure.
same.
Well, you could say like Mystique's
Magneto,
supposed to be like.
Okay, right.
15.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that because the First Class took place in the early 60s.
Yeah.
This is now 83.
Yeah.
That's 20 years. They shouldn't look the same.
She should look 35, 30.
I don't know. I would say that she was at least 20 in that first movie. So she's got to be like 40.
Yeah, there's some around crazy stuff.
So like a lot of that doesn't make sense.
But honestly,
to be honest, I don't really care.
You throw that all away.
Yeah, I throw it all away because I had a good time watching this movie.
Yeah, like I'm saying, there's a lot of stuff that actually holds it back, but it was good. I would have put it much more past that.
It sounds like we're ripping on this movie, but we actually liked it.
We liked it. Okay, so basically, the underlying thing is it's entertaining. It's fun to watch. You have great things from comic books like Weapon X or The Danger Room. That was awesome. Seeing the new X-Men face the Danger Room, which is a room where you create
where there's danger
scenarios. So they had like they even showed the guys coming, the Sentinels.
Right.
So that was kind of cool to see that happen.
Cool, yeah.
Even just like I don't know why I loved every time Nightcrawler came in and he would teleport. That sound.
Yeah, he was cool. He was fun in the movie too when they're escaping Stryker and he pops up out of nowhere and Cyclops has to jump out of the way.
Yeah.
Those little moments are the ones I thought like there was too far and few.
Yeah.
Because like it's all the exposition that kind of makes a movie stand up even more.
Right.
And that's the thing
where needed.
And that's the thing where it's also a continuity issue with like X2 because they barely met Nightcrawler and X2, but they've worked together this whole time since the 80s.
I just kind of saw that.
No, well, I mean, remember, all of that is erased.
Erased, yeah. Swiped.
All of that
with
Days of
Future
Future
Past.
Past.
Yeah.
Erased
So
everything.
Okay.
So that's why they're like
It's a new
redoing
one.
it. So, but even then, I think there's still continuity errors. Like even though they fixed the continuity errors, there's still continuity errors.
They're not as bad though.
Yeah, it's fine.
You know, I really think the only thing they could have fixed in Days of Future Past is that Mystique thing at the end. They didn't have to have Stryker's eyes do anything.
Yeah, just have Stryker
take
have
them.
it. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I think that's it. Honestly.
yeah, that's true.
Wow.
Well, other than that, though, let's give this movie a rating out of
Alright.
5. You like doing
Let's
it
call
out
it
of 5?
I like doing out of 5.
Yeah.
Always.
We're gonna argue about this every time.
Right.
It's simple. It's basic.
It's okay. That's fine. What do you give it?
Out of 5, I'm gonna say a 3.5. I like 3.5 because, as far as my ratings go, if you're a 3 to 3.5, it's an entertaining film. It's something you can go and enjoy as a popcorn movie, but it's not a classic. It's not something poetic. It had its poetic moments, especially with Magneto, but it's nothing it's not literature.
Right.
But it's fun. It's a fun movie. Go watch it. 3.5. That's
Yeah, I give it the same 3.5, equivalent to like a 7 out of 10. But
They still had to throw in the 10.
Yeah.
right. You're just I don't make sure that
We're gonna be stubborn.
right. No, but it makes sense because for me, I didn't love this movie like I wanted to. I mean, Oscar Isaac, I love
He had a
him as
great
an actor.
performance.
But there's just times where like I was like, I don't know if I buy that.
You were more skeptical going in on it than we were too.
Yeah, you know what? And I don't know why because the First Class I loved, Days of Future Past I loved. So there shouldn't be a reason for me to go in skeptical. But for some reason, the trailers weren't doing it for me all that much. The look of Apocalypse had a lot to do with that too. Overall, though, I really did like the movie for what it was. I think I still put it at number 3. I like this new trilogy: First Class, Days of Future Past, and then Apocalypse. I think.
What do you think?
I'd say 3.5. I was gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
We are across the board. 3.5.
That's pretty rare. It's one of those movies where you kind of have to suspend yourself a little bit and just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
There's enough to make you enjoy it. I did think it took a little bit too long getting in the swing of things. But other than that, I'm surprised that they pulled off like a continuity reboot as good as they did, because they're gonna have errors no matter what you do.
Right.
They did it the best way I think they could.
I think Fox is gonna own this for a long time.
Oh,
And they just better not. They're good at X-Men. They're just not good at
Fantastic Four. I think they need to do. I have a comic book series. It was a 4-part series: X-Men versus Fantastic Four. I think they could do something like that, but that's if they want to. But
just
But now with that new cast, like nobody liked Fantastic Four,
especially
at all,
since that was like set present day,
Right.
and this new X-Men isn't there yet.
get rid of that and
just reboot it again. That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
That they're gonna have to reboot it again.
Or let it go.
Or I don't know, man. I don't think they'll let it go. But.
So really quick, what do you kind of like wrapping it up, what are you looking forward to in the next film or future films? Let's say the next film. What are you looking forward to?
Well, is it Wolverine or next Wolverine?
No, X-Men.
Or
X-Men,
Okay.
yeah, the '90s one.
I have such a love-hate relationship that they're skipping so much time on it because I want to see an X-Men movie in the '90s. That's when like X-Men were defined for like all of us.
Right.
And we pretty much grew up around that same time. It'd be cool seeing like Quicksilver in like a Nirvana shirt this time instead of Rush, like something '90s.
Right.
But when you're skipping so much time, there's so much they're missing out on for storytelling.
Yeah.
That leads to those things that we kind of question.
Yeah.
But I have a love-hate relationship with it, but I do want to see it in the '90s. And I don't know, who do you think they're gonna use?
Oh, let's actually talk about that.
That's why I want to
after-credit
reference.
scene.
What are we looking forward to?
So so the after credit scene to me didn't do anything for me because I don't really know anything about whatever that was. So I heard somebody say it's Mr. Sinister.
Yeah.
I think. So, but to be honest, like after credit scene, just like that, it was kind of boring. Like it didn't do anything.
Well, the good thing it's referencing is, like you said, Mr. Sinister. And the reason the scene is important is because it's going to set up not just one main villain, but several villains to look forward to. Because what Mr. Sinister does is he creates and modifies mutants. He amplifies the worst or whatever. So he could take Weapon X's serum and create who I really, really want to see, Omega Red. So he could go in and create an Omega Red. And who uses adamantium whips coming out of his body.
Question.
Yeah.
So is it going to be for the next X-Men movie, or is that going to be for Wolverine, since it was having to do with Weapon X?
Wolverine's going to be done, and it's going to be in the future. So they're making Old Man Logan. We're not going to see Omega Red.
So more time jumping.
Yeah, well, and it's
No,
gonna be,
I think Wolverine 3 is going to be a standalone, just like the Wolverine was.
Yeah.
So as far as X-Men, I'm looking forward to an Omega Red. Even if he doesn't have to fight Wolverine, I want to see an Omega Red fight the X-Men. I want to see Mr. Sinister. I want to see these guys.
It looks like we're getting an X-Force too, because you do see Psylocke go off.
Yes.
So,
and she could be a returning villain. I think they underutilized her, but they teased at a lot
but
of
she
things.
wasn't very good in it, to be honest. Like her acting, for some reason, and I like her. I've seen her on other things, but she didn't do it for me.
She's gorgeous.
She can act like we saw like New Girl. It's a comedy role I heard. So like she can jump back and forth between different roles. I just don't really.
And she's what she did in this only one of 2 X-Men, maybe 3 X-Men that has original costumes.
Yeah.
Yes, but it totally took me out of it because, like, Apocalypse makes all these costumes for everyone else, and it looks all tactical and awesome. She's wearing like a bikini.
Well, he wants to look at her and enjoy.
Not true, but I don't know.
He hasn't seen a woman in millions of years.
she did pull it off because she looked pretty hot, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So other than that, the new X-Men, I am looking forward to whatever they do with that Mr. Sinister or whatever they decide to do. I definitely want to see a growing relationship between Cyclops and Jean Grey. And I want them to explore the Phoenix. Like, I really hope that maybe that's one of our next movies.
And I think that was very interesting.
Phoenix Saga.
I'm surprised they're going there so fast.
Well,
I think
what?
They touched on it just to kind of tease it.
Just about.
Yeah.
But they wanted to give a reason for Apocalypse to have an okay reason to die.
Yeah.
Because his final words, he was basically saying, well, I can't remember his exact words, but like, now I see, or something like that. Because he witnesses the Phoenix, and the Phoenix kills him. So he's like, he realized, I am not God. She is. So it's, whatever beliefs he had, they died with him. But now he sees the ultimate power, which they could do a new trilogy with the new guys, and she could be the final part. Hopefully not like Last Stand, but something.
It's pretty tripped out that this was technically the 3rd movie in a franchise, but it was an origin story again.
Right.
Even though it was the 3rd one, like that kind of weirded me out a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So overall, definitely go watch this movie. If you like comic book movies this year, I think this is kind of sandwiched between Civil War and Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I think I would put it like right above it, like right in the middle. But I really like the whole team dynamic. It's really good. Not the best, but I think for what they're building up to eventually, it's gonna pay off at the end.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
I think it's one of those movies I could totally understand if someone loves it. I could totally understand why someone would hate it. And I have no problem with either of that.
Right, yeah.
It's right in the middle for me.
Yeah, so if you want to just have some fun, enjoy some action, have some popcorn, have Coca-Cola, go watch this movie. It's fun to watch. The kids will love it. Family will love it. Yeah,
That's about it.
I think we can all agree on that. So.
All right. And so I guess we're gonna sign off now. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube.
And we also hope you like the new little set we got going on.
Yeah, we're still working on it, tweaking it, but yeah, we're more or less.
I kind of dig
it
it
like this. So
kind of dig it so far.
So far, yeah, it might change a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and make sure to follow us at NerdFellas on various social media, and we'll see you guys next time.
Make good choices. Alright, now we're good.
Why would you say that?
We need to sign off. Wasn't it you that told me to do it next time?